Om Shanno Mitra Shamvarunah Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi Shanno Vishnururukramah Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Shrutam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmamavatu Tadbhaktaramavatu Avatu Mam Avatu Bhaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are in the portion of the Bhashya that is talking about 5 reasons why in the discussion of Anandamaya, we cannot make it that Anandamaya cannot be converted into Ananda, which is Brahman. And if we recall, long time ago, possibly in another life, we had seen the definition of Brahman as Satyam Jnanam Anantam, that Ananta is Ananda. And so when you refer to it from the standpoint of the individual, it is always Satyam Satchit Ananda. And so this Ananda is the definition of Brahman alone. But here it is Anandamaya Atma. Yet, as I have discussed before, it does not stop people from conflating the two. And I said even wonderful scholastic personalities like this Bhartru Prapancha, etc., they have confused this Ananda to be what? To be this, this Anandamaya to be Ananda. What is Anandamaya? Anandamaya is a vikara of Ananda. Vikara means modification. Modification means necessarily what will happen? It will be finite. Anything that is subject to modification, this is just common sense. You don't need a Shastra for this. Anything that is subject to modification is what? Finite. The infinite is not subject to modification because it is not born and there is nothing other than it. Modification means there should be an agent of modification. It implies an agent of modification. Either there should be an agent of modification unlike itself, or it should be like itself, and then, or it should be within itself, it should modify. So here all three are negated for Brahman. Swagata, Vigata, Sajatiya, Vijatiya, and Sajatiya, Vijatiya, and Swagata Bheda. These 3 kinds of modification are negated for Brahman. And so this Anandamaya is not Ananda. Then what is Anandamaya? Anandamaya is a modification of Ananda in the sense that Anandamaya is nothing but Ananda. Ananda is not Anandamaya. This is how the whole Vedanta Shastra goes. It's a one-sided equation all the time. And so therefore, what is this Vikara of Ananda? The Vikara of Ananda means that the limitless Ananda, which is oneself, that is the limitless Ananda, one's own Swarupa, which one is in the process of knowing. One is yet to know. Now, there is in the course of the day, even the saddest person will have a few moments of happiness. Even the most dejected person once in a while becomes awareful, happy, alive, hopeful, all this, joyous. And so that joy, then there is a lot of analysis, even in the Brahma Sutra and later on in this Bhashya itself. There is an analysis of what is this source of this joy. What is the source of this joy? And as a Vedanta person, we will say the source of this joy is that Ananda alone, which is one's own Swarupa. But one's own Swarupa, since one is ignorant of, this Swarupa is experienced or understood in little bursts, bursts of Ananda, which pokes through, pierces through the thick covering called Atma Ajnanam, self-ignorance. Occasionally, this bursts through a finite portion of this so-called finite form of this Ananda. Not that Ananda has a finite form, but it is finitely experienced as long as there is an experienced divide. So this divide being there, then one experiences a little bit of Ananda. So the offspring has come home. Adi Shankara elsewhere gives this example. Ishtaputra darshanam. Ishtaputra darshanat. Ishtaputra means a favorite child. So even though all the parents will diplomatically say, I love all my children equally. Secret, that's the politically correct answer. Secretly, there will be some favorites. So Ishtaputra Darshanat. So when the favorite child comes, on a holiday or something like that, and then then there is happiness in the heart. The heart becomes happy. But then what? The fellow, has dyed his hair green after mixing mixing with some other fellows. So the heart immediately, even though it is Ishtaputra, a very delightful child and in every other way wonderful, but then the parent's heart is deflated. What is this? What are you doing? And then what will the fellow say? Mom, you don't like this color? Do you prefer purple? I have. I have. Next week I can color it purple. You just name the color. What is wrong with God-given color? It's so boring, mom. This is what it is. And so like this. So that Ananda from even seeing the favorite child is what? Is dimmed, we can say. Is dimmed by the experience, is dimmed by what? Is dimmed by the one's own expectations being shocked. One's own expectations have been shocked. How have they been shocked? Because I thought I knew this fellow. I thought I know how he looks like. And in the last video call, before getting on the plane, he didn't look like this. And now coming here, he's looking like this. And so like this, that shock is there. And so the Ananda is mixed in with the Vikara. This is what is Vikara. It is not unbridled Ananda because there are expectations in the heart of the mother here. There are expectations in the heart of the parent. And so therefore, the Ananda is inhibited. This inhibited Ananda, due to the experienced divide, due to the raga dveshas, which are all buttressed and kept alive by the atma avidya, by the self-ignorance, is what is called vikar. This is what is the maya of Anandamaya. This is the vikar. And so this vikara means what? Vikara means there will be some there is some problems here because one is yearning for that unbridled, limitless wholeness which is oneself. But one can only experience Ananda as the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad we saw a few classes back says lesha leshataha, means in little scraps and bits and pieces. And so this is what is called Anandam. Because the source of even this scrapbook Ananda, where you have little torn pieces, that is there. And so even that Ananda is what? That Ananda is also coming from this Anandamaya, has its source in Ananda itself, which is one's own Swarup. There are not two Anandas. This is another very big misconception that people have, that there are two Anandas. How can there be two Anandas? One is the finite Ananda and the other is infinite Ananda. The finite is not separate from infinite. Cannot be. The finite is included in the infinite. And that's what we have to understand. And so, therefore, there are, because of these wrong perceptions, there are these very well entrenched ideas about how this, how this Ananda is, this Anandamaya itself is Ananda, confusing Anandamaya for Ananda, because one is not able to tell the difference. And then, so here we are on the second argument. Let me share the Bhashya book, and so then you will know. Here we are on the second argument. Okay, Dvitiya Hetu. So what was the first argument? Who remembers? Who knows? Who remembers whether even I was alive or not when you taught this? This is what the people's thing is. So let's quickly, let's quickly revise the first one. So Anandamaya Karyatma eva natu Brahma ityatra prathamo hetuhu कार्याद कार्याधि कार्याधिकार पतित्व कार्य अधिकार पतितत्वात्. Meaning, so here he explains very nicely. तस्माद् वा एतस्मात् इति उक्तार्थम् आनन्दमयः इति कार्यात्मक प्रतीतिः. We saw this in detail. Karyatma, not Karanatma. Mithyatma, not Satyatma. Every karya is mithya. Karana is Karana also we cannot say is Satyam. In reference to the Karana is Satyam. Because sometimes what happens, the Karya itself becomes Karana in a different context. Like pot, clay. So clay is the Karana of pot, but then pot itself becomes the, clay then in a different context becomes the Karya of the 5 elements, etc. So like this, that which doesn't lose its Karanatvam, and the Karanatvam is then as though the causality is an as though superimposition of this on this which is free, on this Brahma which is free of all causality. That is what has to be understood here properly. Okay. And so what are we discussing here when we talk about Anandamaya? It is not the cause. It cannot be the cause. It is not the cause. Why? Because karyatma pratiti adhikara. Because, hello, Adi Shankara says, dummies. This is Vedanta for dummies. Why? Because he is explaining, look at the section. Don't take this out of context. In the section, what is there? In the section, we are talking of all the sankramanam. Sankramanam means 2 things. One is gain, the other one is crossing. That the crossing meaning he will take up later. So here the person is transcending all the various mayas. So from one thing he mistakes for the cause, or she mistakes for the cause, he goes to another thing, and then she goes to the next thing, and then he goes to another thing, and then she goes to the next thing. This way we have plodded our way in 78 classes from Annamaya to Anandamaya. Slowly we have gone like Shani, the planet Shani. Okay, taking 2.5 years, 2.5 years in one constellation, in one house. And so like this, we have slowly gone. And then what have we crossed? Well, what did we say, what did we say at the end of each prakarna? At the end of Annamaya prakarna, what did we say? Tadapyesha shloko bhavati. And then this is the shloka associated with this. And then what? Anyontara atma, Anyontara atma, Anyontara atma. Anyaha antarascha. That which is another, Anyaha. And then it is within, meaning that which is within pervades that which is without. So that is what we've been studying all this time. And so now, suddenly when you come to Anandamaya, you cannot conclude it is because there is no Anyontara Atma discussion following. That verse is not there. That mantra is not there. You cannot conclude that it is Karana Atma. So it is Karyatma, means it is Atma. Everything is Atma. No question, no doubt about that. But it is not Karana. We are still talking of effect. And the effect itself is Vikara. That's why he says, Mayat Shabda Prayogacha. Next one, Mayat Shabdacha. We have to add Prayoga. So because of the use of the Mayat suffix, अन्नादिमयाः हि कार्यात्मानः भौतिकाः इह अधिकृताः भौतिकाः. Everything is born of the five elements, right from annamaya. Everything is bhautika. Bhutebhyah jatam bhautikam. That which is born of the elements, it's all connected to the elements. So this is the context. Tasmad va tasmad atmana akashas sambhutaha akashad vayu. And then from vayu came this, from this came this, from this came this, and then prithvi, oshadhayaha, prithvi, and all this, purushaha, etc. And so therefore, this is all a vikara, mayat vikare. Mayat is used, the suffix mayat is used for vikarartha only. Tad adhikara patitascha ayam anandamaya. Patitaha means that which has fallen. So this anandamaya discussion has also fallen in the same adhikarana, in the same section, in the same adhikara. And here also, mayat cannot have another meaning, prachuryarthe. It is full of ananda, mostly ananda. We cannot have that. So, yatha annamaya, yatha anandamaya. Mayat cha atra vikararthe dritaha. So, mayat here also, we have to take only vikarartha. We cannot take prachuryartha. We cannot say it is preponderance of ananda. Preponderance also means there will be some dukkha lesha, little sorrow will be there. After seeing the green-haired goblin in the form of your son. And so like this, so little sadness will be there. And so this is so here also it is vikara only. Yatha, just as annamaya. Ityatra means here also it's the same. Tasmat karyatma anandamaya pratyetavyah. This we saw in detail. Therefore, we have to consider anandamaya as karya alone. It is not the real ananda, paramarthika ananda. It is vyavaharika ananda, which is laced with disappointments, laced with expectations, laced with sorrow, all these things. And then he has an interesting discussion where all these inhibitions come from. Why the ananda gets inhibited, he will talk about it later. But now we have to get through this before we do other things. So what is the next one? Dvitiyaha hetuhu sankramacha sankramana Sankramanacha means, this won't make sense now. And so therefore, I'm going to go over this also a little bit fast because we haven't studied that particular section. It is going to come later. Etamannamayamatmanamupasantramati etam pranamayamatmanamupasantramati etam manomayamatmanamupasantramati. Like this, there is a whole section. Etamanandamayamatmanam upasankramati. That upasankramati means two things. One is transcends, crosses. That is more of a metaphorical meaning. And then the other meaning, which he is using here, is prapti. Sankramanam means prapti, the gain. Why is he preferring this meaning? Because he has a particular axe to grind here. He wants to prove something. That is why he prefers this particular meaning. Why? Because if we take the meaning prapti at first, then what happens? Etam annamayam atmanam upasankramati. So the person of knowledge, she or he, gains the annamaya atma as oneself. That's why sarvan kaman samashrute gains everything. And so the Annamaya Atma is oneself alone. The person understands and then gains the Pranamaya Atma, gains the Manomaya Atma, Vijnanamaya Atma, Anandamaya Atma. So Then what? Against that. Now the thing is this, that so yatha annamayam atmanam upasankramati iti. So this is what he says. Anandamaya. So this is the iticha bhakshyati. The Shruti will tell about all this. Karyatmanam Karyatmanam cha sankramanam anatmana drishtam. Sankramanam. Don't take it as crossing. Take it as prapti, gain. If you take it as gain, he gives a general logic. He gives a general postulate over here. And what is that postulate? Karyatmanam cha sankramanam anatmanam drishtam. So sankramanam is prapti. Prapti means gain. So the gain is seen. Generally speaking, gain is seen how? The gain of what? An object. Right? So that is the idea. So the gain of object. So if fair enough. So if I'm talking of the gain of object, what is this object? Is it me or is it other than me? Huh?
Other than me.
It has to be other than. How can it be me? Me, I can't gain because I'm already, it's a Siddha Vastu Vishaya. Here we are talking of Sadhya Vastu Vishaya, that which is ungained. So any gain we are talking of is other than myself alone. It's not me. It cannot be me. We are not talking of my own gain. We are talking of gain of something other than me. That's why there is the gainer and then there is the gain. So there is the subject who is the gainer, and then there is the object, that which is gain. Okay. So then Sankramana karmatvena cha anandamaya atma iti shruyate. So this anandamaya atma in the form of anandamaya, it is sankramana vishaya. It is an object to be gained. It is an object to be gained. And then that's why if Anandamaya is an object of gain, it cannot be the Atma, which is not possible to gain. By being it oneself alone. So here we are again talking of Karyatma. Same argument as first one, but here it is illustrated through another quotation. That's he's giving further hetus, and in a way it's an extension of the first one. But for ease of understanding, we can say it is dvitiyo hetuhu. We can talk about it as the second reason. So understand this clearly. It's very simple, even though it may not sound simple. And what is all that he's trying to say is that if something is to be gained, then it cannot be Atma. If it's an object of gain and I am the subject, and the subject here is gaining Annamaya, check, gaining Pranamaya, check, gaining Manomaya, check, gaining Vijnanamaya, 4 checks, gaining Anandamaya, 5 checks. That person of knowledge is gaining all these things as the subject. So then what is he gaining? What is she gaining? Objects. And that is what we have to understand here. And this Sankramana Shruti tells this, that is all is being said here. Okay. And then he points out, Nacha Atmanaha eva upasankramanam. You cannot gain the Atma. This is 101 of Vedanta. Why? Because it is already you. It is already gained. It's like a person who went to Bhagavan and said, please, oh Lord, give me a head on my shoulders. What did Bhagavan say? Not, I can't do that. Oh, but you are all knowing. You are omniscient. You are everything. You are all power, all might. Why can't you do this? And again the Lord says, I'm sorry, I can't give you a head over the shoulders. I can give you side by side so that you can be part of a freak show. I can give you aage piche, like Brahmaji. One head is always in the back, so that you can confuse your friends. They don't know whether you are coming or going. And I can give you double decker. ek ke upar ek. Like what is that? There is one Shivalinga that has two heads, one on top of the other, which is very nice. So you can have a double decker. But I can't give you a head over the shoulders because even though you're talking as though you don't have a head, you do have a head. Therefore, I can't give you another head. I can give you another head, but I can't give you a head. So similarly here, Atma cannot be gained because it's already there. Like the head, this fellow is refusing to acknowledge. Atma is already there. It cannot be gained. And so therefore, nacha eva means in this manner, upasankramanam syat, what? Atmanah. Not possible. This kind of crossing is not possible at all for not crossing, this kind of gain is not possible for the Atma. Why? Because it is already gained. And then one more hetu he gives here, why this is not possible. Adhikara virodha cha. Adhikara virodha. Adhikara virodha means what? It is contrary to the section under discussion. It is contextually untenable. Contextually untenable. That is what it is. Adhikara virodhabcha. Contextually, it is totally untenable. And then, so why is it untenable contextually? It is contextually untenable because how is it possible that when you talk of Annamaya, when you talk of Pranamaya, when you talk of Manomaya, there is one set of rules. All that is just, it is all the gain of something that is other than you. But when you talk of Anandamaya, suddenly it is you, yourself alone. How is that possible? So therefore, there is a virodha. You're doing a selective reading. Like academics. In academia, especially if we are studying Shastra in academia, then there is a different parampara. They will just quote something out of context without knowing what is behind and what is before. Purva and Apara connection is not there. Something they will quote, and then they will say, oh, the Hindu dharma is like this. Conclusion. And so here he says, look, go and rub your nose in the context, and then you will see that you are following in saying this is Ananda and not Anandamaya, in saying this is Atma. Ananda is Atma. So in saying that this is Atma, you are following a completely different set of rules for this particular word, and then a completely different set of rules for what came before. And therefore, this is totally untenable. It is not possible to look at this at all. Not possible. And so then he says that it is not possible for one more reason. The Bhashya says, asambhavat cha. Asambhava. Asambhavat cha. Asambhava means it is not possible. It is just impossible. Just what I said. He just cites it as a impossibility. He cites it as another example. Another example he cites it as because, and why is it impossible? Because the person who is the gainer of the Atma, he happens to be the Atma. Kartrukarma virodha is there. Kartrukarma virodha is there. Because in order to gain something, Kartrukarma bheda must be there. But sometimes, what do? Poetically, we say, Atma, Atmanam Pashyati. We can say that. Poetically, Atma sees the Atma, Atma gains the Atma. Being Atma, he or she gains the Atma. Some Upanishad Vakyas are there. In the concluding portions, we see in certain prakarnas, in prakarna granthas, in certain texts we see, and in certain Upanishads also we see sentences like that, metaphorical sentences, paradoxical sentences we see. Being Atma, one gains the Atma. So we can say that poetically, but not here. Why? Adhikara virodhat. Same thing we can say, because it is not the part of the context at all. Here, the context is not, the text is neither concluding, nor is it making a separate point. It is discussing a block of all the mayas together. It is discussing a block of areas where there is error committed, where I think myself to be as good as the body, as good as the prana, as good as the mind, as good as what I know, as good as what I do, as good as what I experience. That is being negated here. We should never, ever, ever, this is a very important point, we should never, ever, ever forget the context. And so, therefore, therefore it is asambhava. One more hetu within the hetu. Kartra karmana. So, between the karta and the karma. Kartra karmana bheda is there in every case. Kartra karmana means between the object, subject, karta, the doer, the gainer, and the object to be gained, there should be a difference. And if Annamaya Atma or Anandamaya Atma becomes Paramatma, then it is not possible. It's not possible at all. And so, therefore, what? So, therefore, the Bheda, the difference is necessary, and then but here there is no Bheda. The Atma is not the object, the Atma is you, but here there is, even though whenever the people are talking, Atma gains Atma, etc., we are not talking about Kriya there, we are not talking about gain or action. It is just purely the Shastra that is pointed out. And then then again he says, Adhikara, because of the section. And therefore he says, Nahi Atmana eva Atmanah Sankramanam Sambhavati. And then furthermore, one more thing, not only can you not gain the Atma as an object, it is impossible to gain the Atma. Why? Who is the gainer? Me. Who is the gained? Me. Already there is a problem here. So he explains what he means by asambhavat. So by Atma, the gaining of the Atma cannot take place. Why? He gives a beautiful hetu here. Swatmani Veda Abhava. In the same Atma, there cannot be the subject-object difference. Cannot be there. Because what is Atma? That which does not have any subject-object Veda, that is Atma. That is what it is. That is what Sarvatma Bhava we talk about. Tree is me, sky is me, breathing is me, Vayu is me, all the 5 elements are me. In-law is me, outlaw is me, everything is me. Bugs are me, bugging people are me, everything is me. So in Sanskrit it is me, chame, chame, chame. After chanting Sri Rudram you chant. First you say it is Namaha, Namaha, Namaha. That's why it's called Namaka. And then actually that Namaka, some scholar says it is actually Name, Name, Name. This is not me, this is not me, this is not me. And then once you deflate the ahankara like this completely, it becomes like, like a balloon, flat, deflated balloon, the ahankara is. And then the knowledge takes place to claim everything as yourself alone. So everything is me. And that me is so infinite and so big and so huge that you keep on adding things to it, it does not get burdened. And that balloon, you keep on blowing into it, it just becomes like the ever expanding universe that the physicists talk about. Every day we are discovering something or the other. In the skies, in space, we are discovering so many things. And then under the water, we are discovering so many, deep sea creatures. They're all neon and colorful because there is no light. They have to, distinguish from one another. Beautiful. So many things. And they have no eyes, because what is the use of eyes? They have other ways of going about their life. There's no eyes because there is no source of light. And interestingly, one of them that I saw in a photograph, it looked exactly like a table lamp. It looked like a table lamp with a bulb inside and with a little, what is that, gooseneck, and a little, even one switch was there, you could see. I thought this is a very interesting irony of Bhagavan. Very nice. And so, like this, we are discovering new things. That means the universe is ever expanding. It is because the Atma doesn't run out of space. Space itself is the as though projection of Atma. Time is as though projection of Atma. So Atma cannot run out of space and time. So space is because Atma is. Time is because Atma is. And so therefore what? So in this ever expanding Atma, the whole universe plus few other universes, if they were there, they can all be accommodated. So this is what, one says, this is all me alone. And when you say this is all me alone, where is the question of this belongs to me and that is not mine? How is that possible? Here we are not even talking of the possessive case. We are talking of we're not talking of the possessive case at all. Genetic case, we are not talking about that. We are talking about something else. We are talking about it is all myself alone. That I has expanded to cover everything that is an object. So it inhabits all objects without being able to be objectified as such. And that is exactly what he explains here. So he says, Nahi Atmana eva Atmanaha upasankramanam sambhavati. So by the Atma, the gaining of the Atma doesn't take place. Why? Swatmani Bheda Abhavat, because there is no difference in the I. There is no subject, there is no object, there are no karakas. Just like your eyes cannot see themselves. Why? Because the eyes are the subject and the eyes are the object. Swadarshanam is not possible. I mean, unless you go stand in front of a mirror, then the eyes can see the eyes. But otherwise, you cannot see. And so, therefore, like even your eyes cannot see themselves, so ears cannot hear themselves. Similarly, for the Atma to be an object, the Karta must be different from Karma. The subject must be different from Karma. Here, Swatmani Bheda Abhava. And so there is no difference here. There is no karakas in the Atma. There is no need for any kind of cases. First case, nominative. Second case is what? Object case. Third case, instrumental case. Fourth case, what is that? Dative case. Fifth case, ablative case. Sixth case, genitive case. Seventh case, locative case. Eighth case, basket case. Okay, so like this, there are not these there are not these differences. These differences are not there because who is going to be the doer? Who is going to be done in when everything is myself alone? Who is the instrument? There is no instrument other than me. And then there is no reason to perform the action other than me. There is no reason for action at all. There is no action, so there is no reason to perform action. And then there is nothing coming out of anything. Ablative case. And then what else? There is nothing that's belonging to me. There is nothing separate from me. Genitive case. And then what else is there? There is nothing located in me. Locative case. And there's nobody calling out to me. Vocative case. There's no being is there. And so therefore therefore there is no bheda. There is no difference. And therefore he says, Atma bhutam cha brahma sankramituhu Atma Brahma Bhutam. Meaning what? So, Sankramituhu Atma Bhutam Swarupa Bhutam. So then you can't say, Brahman is gaining the Ananda Atma. No, because you are already Brahman. What is this Brahman? This is the Brahman is the Swarupa of the Atma. The one who is gaining one's own Swarupa happens to be Brahman. Therefore, you cannot say Brahman gains Atma. Therefore, you cannot make that difference at all. So, therefore, now now we can look at this word. What is that word? Upasankramati. This sankramanam, we can look at it from the two standpoints. One we have already seen, prapti, gain. The other meaning is badhaha. Anandamayam atmanam upasankramati. Annamayam atmanam upasankramati. So first meaning, he gains, she gains, upasankramati. The person gains the entire Annamaya Atma, Pranamaya Atma, so forth. This is one meaning. The second meaning is that it is Badha. Badha means it is negated, sublated, crossed over. This is how you get that. Badharthe means crossing over. So the person negates, sublates, or crosses over. So Annamayam Atmanu Upasankravati means negates the Annamaya Atma as oneself. Annamaya is me. I am not Annamaya. Why? Because there is Pranamaya, and there is Manomaya, etc. So therefore, next in the Pranamaya Atma, he got or she got that is Satyam. This becomes Mithya. Then again the next one becomes Mithya. Pranamaya becomes Mithya. Manomaya becomes Satyam. This is all a work in progress. And that also the person transcends as Mithya. Then the person transcends Vijnanamaya as Mithya. And in the same vein, because of the Adhikara, the Anandamaya is also transcended as Mithya. That's the idea. You cannot say it is Satyam. Why? Because this is also Mithya. Atra Ubhayatapi Anandamayasya Brahmatve Sankramana Karmatva Ayoga. Whether you are gaining the Anandamaya or you are crossing over the Anandamaya, sublating the Anandamaya, still it is an object. Being the object of either gaining or crossing or sublating, it is different from you. So therefore, it is ayogya. It is not worthy to be taken as Brahman. If it was Brahman, then we would never have the Upanishadic sentence, Etam Anandamayam Atmanam Upasankramati. Therefore, Karyatmatvam evacha bhavaha. So this is Karyatma alone, this argument states. Then let us go back to the Bhashya here and look at the third. I hope this is clear. The second one is clear? Say yes, even if you want to say no.
Yes, Swamini.
Yes.
Okay. Let me share this one. And then let us look at the next reason. Okay. Here we are. This number 63 here, which is highlighted here. So then he says that the next one, let me just summarize it so it's easy to understand and enjoy. So let us go back to the description of Anandamaya. Tasya priyameva shiraha. Then modo dakshina pakshaha. Pramoda uttara pakshaha. Ananda atma. Brahma puchham pratishtha. Right? This is the description of Anandamaya. Anandamaya has a head. What is the head? What is the head?
Priya.
Yeah, Priya. Priya means a kind of a modification of the joy. A small joy is called Priya. That is the head. And then the right wing and the left wing are the increasing amounts of that particular joy, which is Ananda itself. But here, a trickle of Ananda and a little cup full of Ananda, and a little thimble of Ananda, and a little bucket full of Ananda is being described. Why? Because of all the inhibiting factors, such as the raga dvesha, and some problems with the karana. Karana means the indriyas, etc. So, if supposing you go to a movie and you have been wanting to see this movie for a very, very long time. Finally, the corona is down enough to see something on big screen, and then you go to see this movie. Fact number one. Factoid number two, you cannot see a thing without your glasses. Then the movie starts, and then where are the glasses? At home. At home. And home is not so close. And you have spent a lot on the ticket. And even though it is big screen, and you just feel like giving a big scream because everything is just patchy, and all blurry. You can't enjoy. You see the people, but your favorite hero and your favorite heroine, you cannot enjoy all their moves and nuances, and you cannot enjoy the bad actions of the villain either. Then you come home disappointed, and so this is the inhibited ananda, and so therefore this avayava kalpana abhava. Avayava kalpana bhava means due to the presence of avayava kalpana. What is avayava? Limb. So when the happiness has limbs like head, hands, and legs, then one is in trouble because it will always be a truncated happiness, a dismembered happiness, all chopped up. That's what it is. So this is the next argument. Very interesting, and this you can understand easily because we have done that particular verse upon which this argument is based. So, would you like to repeat this? Shira Adi.
Shira Adi.
Kalpana.
Kalpana.
Anupapattescha.
Anupapattescha.
Nahi.
Nahi.
Yathokta lakshane.
Yathokta lakshane.
Akashadikarane.
Akashadikarane.
Akaryapatite.
Akadyapatite.
Shira Adi.
Shira Adi.
Avayava Rupa.
Avayava Rupa.
Kalpana.
Kalpana.
Upapadyate.
Upapadyate.
Yeah. So, anupapattihi, technical term, which means untenable. Untenable. So, this is untenable. What is untenable? Shira Adi Kalpana is untenable. Kalpana is what? Imagery. The imagery here of the head and the hands and the legs and the tail and all this, the not hands, what is that? Wings and all is untenable. Anandamaya has the limbs, and then since it has limbs, that means it has parts, and if it has parts, it cannot be partless. That is the idea. Nahi Shira Adi Kalpana is Shira Adi Kalpanayaha Upapattihi. So this the argument is untenable. And why is it untenable? Nahi Yathokta Lakshane. Yathokta Lakshane means as it was described before. As what was described before? Brahman. How was Brahman described before? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Iti. Nahi Yathokta Lakshane. That Brahman which has this particular characteristics or the description of what is that called? The Satyam Jnanam Anantam as the indicatory words. Nahi Yathokta Lakshane. Akashadi Karane. That which is the cause of the space and time itself, space and all the other elements. Akarya Pratite. That which has not fallen in the category of that, that which is uncreated, that which is uncreated, that which has fallen in the category of uncreated. In fact, the uncreated is not a category. There's only one thing that is uncreated, which happens to be you. So, akarya patite means here it is fallen in that which is akarya. The whole discussion of Satyam, Jnanam, and Anantam, it's not created. Because if it is put together, then it definitely falls apart. We have a maxim, anything that is put together definitely falls apart. And if it falls apart, then, then what happens? Then that means it is not Brahman. Brahman will not fall apart. But then the Shira, etc., the head and the, not legs, what is that? Yeah, the head and the wings and the tail, etc., are put together here. That means what? It is not Brahman, it is Anandamaya. Therefore, we are talking of Karyatma. It is Brahman, but it is Brahman with a form and a name and a particular condition. That is what it is. And so, Shira Adi, here it is Akash Adi Karane, Akarya Patite. Akarya Patite means that which can never be, something that is created. Shira Adi, Avayava Rupa Kalpana, Upapadyate. Upapadyate means is possible. Oh, is possible? No, look at the beginning of the sentence. The whole thing is denied here. Na upapadyate. See, by the time we make our way through all these words, the na is forgotten. So let's not forget that. Na upapadyate. That's why in the beginning Sanskrit classes, we always say that put the na just before, put the negation just before the word, the verb. Then you know how to negate. Oh, but Adi Shankara has broken a grammar rule. How come? That's because he is Adi Shankara, okay? Yeah. After you get a hang of the language, then you can put na anywhere else. Usually in the beginning also you can put it, and it makes sense. But generally, it is the verb that is negated. Upapadyate is possible, na upapadyate is not possible. So since the verb is negated, the placement of the negation generally follows the pattern of putting it in front of the verb. But here there is an aberration, so it's easy to forget and easy to say Shira Adi Avayava Rupa Kalpana Upapadyate is possible. No, is not possible. And why is it not possible? It is not possible because that which is never a creation, that which is the cause of everything, itself uncaused, how can it have a head? Use your head to see that it cannot have a head. That is the idea. Okay. And then there is one more argument that is made. We'll translate this also and then see it all in detail. So then he quotes something in Taittiriya Upanishad a little further. Adrishye anatme anirukte anilayane abhayam pratishtham vindate. So in this, that is adrishye. In this, that is not a object of sight. Anatmye, that which does not have atma, means that which is the atma of everything. It does not have a separate atma. Anirukte. Anirukte means avachye, that which doesn't have, cannot be described by words. Anilayane, that which is not in a particular place. And same thing in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishads, asthulam means not big, not small, not big, ananu, etc. Na iti atma, ityadi vishesha apoha shrutibhyascha. Apoha shruti means, so vishesha apoha. Apoha means removal. So these shrutis, what do? They remove. Don't read it as poha, okay? Yeah, just because it is breakfast time. Poha means flattened rice. That is not what it is here. The word is apoha. Apoha means not poha, means don't think of poha. So apoha here means what? That is removal. Removal. Apohanam means removal. Removal of what? Vishesha. Vishesha means attributes. So these shrutis are attribute removal shrutis. So, Ityadi, Vishesha Apoha Shrutibhyascha. So, even if you look at these other Shrutis, which are primarily for the Vishesha Apoha, to remove all the attributes from what? From mistaking those attributes or that which has these attributes to be Brahman. So, therefore, that also helps us to understand this third reasoning or this third hetu. And what is the third hetu? Third hetu we just saw is that it has, since the Anandamaya has avayava. Avayava means parts. It cannot be the impartite, partless Brahman. It cannot be. Avayava is there. Okay. So then this kalpana is not possible. And then what is this, kalpana is not possible. The Shira Adi Kalpana was given for Annamaya, to Anandamaya, all of them. And so that means they are all the same. They have to be dealt with in the same way. Same Pakshi. Pakshi means bird. Same bird. Same Avayava, same limbs. And then one is the left, one is the head, left wing, right wing, and the tail. So if it is Satyam Jnana, if Anandamaya is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, then Yathokta Lakshanam Brahma, that which is the cause of Akasha, etc., that which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam, it will not take any limbs. Why? Nirgunatva. It does not have any attributes. It has no akara, no form, no attribute. And so therefore, it is untenable to think of Brahman having a head, etc. Because Yathokta Lakshane means what? That having the description, the Lakshana of Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, that Brahman. So Yatha Uktani Lakshanani Yasya Tat Yathokta Lakshanam. So, as mentioned before, Tasmin Yathokta Lakshane, Tasmin Brahmani, in that Brahman, which was described aforementioned, it was described as Satyam Jnanam Anantam, as it was defined. We can say that so Yathokta Lakshane, which happens to be the Akashadi Karana, which is the cause of everything. That which is the cause of Akasha. After Akasha, what comes? Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi, fire, air, etc. All the five elements. And that, that which does not fall under that which is Karya, Akarya Patate. That which does not come under that which is created. Why? Because it is Sarvasya Karanam, that which is the cause of all. And therefore it does not fall under the list of everything which is a Karya. What is Annamaya? Karya Patita. It falls under Karya. And what is the Akasha? Karya. Vayu? Karya. Agni? Karya. Everything is Karya. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Karya. Karyeshu Patita, Karya Patita. All of them are obtaining within the cause, the cause effect kind of a thing. They're all within the effect. And then what is Brahman? It is not one more Karya. It is the Akashadi Karana. It is the Karana of everything. Akarya Patita. And then, and this is important to mention, like I said earlier, sometimes that which is Karya then becomes Karana, then becomes Karya. Again, yarn is Karya, but then from the standpoint of the cotton, yarn is Karana of fabric, but then from the standpoint of cotton, it is Karya. Like this. And so therefore, every Karya becomes a Karana, and every Karana can become a Karya. Therefore, it says, Akashadi Karana Bhute, that which is even that which transcends all this Karya Karana nonsense, and therefore it's an attributed causality. The causality is not affixed to Brahman, it is an as though cause, which itself is a causeless cause. And so therefore, here it is Karana, all right, but it is Akarya. See how brilliant this is. It is uncreated. So therefore, it can never be an effect. It is the cause of everything, but never the effect. Very nicely put here. Akarya patite, akashadi karane, shira adi avayava rupa kalpana, na upapadyate. In that Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahmani, in that Brahman, which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam, a Kalpana, an imagery consisting of various limbs such as head and the middle portion and the left wing, right wing, tail, etc., is not tenable. Why? Because that which is Brahman is not Karya, and if it is not Karya, it cannot have limbs, Avayava, because it cannot have attributes, no qualities. So you cannot imagine Brahman. And therefore it is very frustrating. This is one of the occupational hazards of being a Swami, especially in the Advaita tradition. People come and ask, please tell me, what? How to meditate on Nirgunam Brahma? Arey, Nirgunam Brahma is you. It's not an object of meditation. You have to know it. No, I'm sick of meditating on Saguna. Saguna means Brahman with form, like Shiva, Parvati, and this one, that one, Ganesha, etc., etc. I'm tired of going to temples and meditating upon form. Please show me, tell me, give me the rahasya, the secret of how to meditate on the formless. Formless is not an object. How are you going to meditate? Namaha, if you say, then that means already you are addressing. You are addressing. You are addressing Brahman and you are saying Namaha. No, I want to imagine. I want to imagine doing Abhisheka to Brahman. Please be born again. That's all we have to say. Nothing else. Nothing else to say. Because before studies, we can understand. After studies, again, if this is the situation of the person, nothing else to talk about at all. Nothing else to talk about. So then, Nirgunam Brahma means Brahman without any attributes is not an object of meditation. It is you only. And that's why we need all these Vishesha Apoha Shrutihi. We need these Shrutis, we need the Shruti sentences that dismiss all these various things. Adrishye, Anatme, Anirukte, Anilayane, and then Asthulam, Mananu, Neti, all this we need. This is not Atma, this is not Atma. Atma doesn't have ears, Atma doesn't have eyes. Yattadadreksham, Agrakyam, Avarnam, Agotram, Apanipadam. All this, we have seen in Mundaka also. All of them, such Shrutis are called Vishesha Apohana Shrutihi. So these Shruti Vakyas they attract a particular nomenclature. What is the name of these Shrutis? The name of these Shrutis is that which is for the specific purpose, for removing all the notions that Brahman has attributes. So then Adrishya means what? Not a Karya. And then it is Adrishya, not an object of perception, not an object of consciousness. It is consciousness itself. Then Anatmye, that which doesn't have an Atma. Atma doesn't have Atma. Atma is Atma. It doesn't have Atma, meaning there is nothing powering the Atma, just like the Atma powers the entire universe. Then Avajye, Anirukte means that which is not available to write a dictionary on. You cannot, you cannot have particular meanings for it. It is not available to be described by any words. So Anirukte, that which doesn't have Vachyartha, which is not the immediate meaning of any word. And we do use Satyam Jnanam, Anantam, but it is the Lakshana meaning, in the indirect meaning, not the direct meaning, indicative meaning. And then Anilayane means that for which there is no Ashraya. No Ashraya. And that is the idea. So, no resting place. That is what? That is you. Oh, but I have a house. Yes, you have a house, but then the true resting place, is within one's own glory. That is the idea. You may have 10 houses, but the house is not providing you rest. The only place from which you're not kicked out is Atma. That is your place. That is what it means to be at home with Om. And so this is the idea. It is the ashraya of everything. Pratishtham vindate. It is the pratishtha of everything. And it is free of all attributes. Asthulam ananu, which is neither big nor small, nor gross, nor subtle. It is not cosmic, it is not atomic, it has no size. And then this, whatever you think, whatever you say, is not Atma. Idam, whenever you say this or that, it is not Atma. Because so therefore this is the Vishesha Apohana Shrutibhyascha, the Shruti that negates all the Visheshas from Brahman. From this we understand that Shira Adi Kalpana Niravayavasya Brahmanaha Nahi Upapadyate Niravayatvat. So the Hetu is because Brahman does not have any attributes, Avayava not being there, you cannot imagine Brahman. You cannot imagine this is how Brahman looks, and you cannot have a Brahman painting or drawing contest and say my Brahman is better than your Brahman. You cannot say. That is the idea. The other, I think this is the third reason. So other two reasons which are very interesting, we will complete tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Yeah, after a long gap we are meeting. It's nice. It's nice to be back.
Thank you
So
for
tomorrow-
wonderful teaching, Swamini ji, again and again.